up, gorgeous NFA, no fucking around money mamas? It's time for a special episode today. We're doing our Woman Entrepreneur Podcast Party. If you don't know about this, go to the WomanEntrepreneurPodcast.com, and at the top of the page, you'll see two buttons. One button is called Biz Breakdown Session, and one is the Woman Entrepreneur Podcast Party. Come on for one or both. They're both awesome ways for you to hang out with other awesome women entrepreneurs. On the Biz Breakdown Session, you get to have a one-on-one with me. So if you are new here, make sure you go check both of those out. Today, we have a panel of incredible, amazing women who are building businesses from their zones of genius. And we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about, what does your zone of genius mean? How do you discover it? And then we're going to let everyone here share their zone of genius so you can start to get ideas about how to think about yours. This to me is the gold mine of building your business. It is what causes you to magnetically attract the right people your way. It causes you to feel in alignment and be inspired and looking forward to building your business instead of feeling drained and stuck and uncertain about what direction to go. And so let me talk about that just for a few minutes, and then we're going to roundtable style ask all of the amazing women here about their zones of genius, and they're going to share from their perspective what that means, how they discovered theirs, and then we're going to have everyone introduce themselves and highlight their businesses so you can see the wide variety of options for you and also potentially tap into them through this community. I love building community on this podcast. It's something that is new to me in terms of podcasting. And I think that it's something that we're missing in the world, especially as sometimes solopreneurs or, entrepreneurs with small teams. One of the things that I love in my NFA Money Mama group coaching program is that we hang out every week and we get to know each other and we get inspired to be together. And it makes it's in my zone of genius, right? Like to feel heart-centered and connected to people. And so that's what this is all about. So let's play with zone of genius. If you're new to zone of genius work, I really love to teach zone of genius values. And the reason I like to do that, if you go back to episode 3, you'll hear that the 4th zone is for you to get into your zone of manifestation. And when you do that, what it means is that you have leads flowing into your business. You have very clear brand identity. People know exactly what you stand for because you've built this expert platform over time, and they're coming to you as the person who knows exactly that thing. And so it's really important to cultivate this over time. Don't be afraid if you're not there yet. This takes time. It's not something that people just overnight go, I know exactly what it is. Usually it takes going through the 4 phases. And I think of these as zone 1, 2, 3, and 4. And in building a business, zone 1 is going to be when you have some manic imposter syndrome going on, where you're like, oh my God, I'm so excited about building a business, but I'm not sure what to do. Zone 2 is where you start to over deliver and undercharge. What that means is that you're still playing a little bit in that imposter zone field. You haven't quite owned your power in your zone of genius. You have scattered brand identity. So you're kind of trying a lot of things and seeing what sticks and not quite sure of yourself. And so you undercharge. Then you move into zone 3, which is going to be where you start valuing yourself more. And you go, oh my God, I got to delegate. I've got to start giving the things away to other people, either drop, automating, or delegating away the things that aren't in my zone of genius so that I can really thrive and feel alive on the business building adventure. As you do that, you start to move into zone 4, where you get to live fully in your zone of genius, where you know exactly what you must delegate so you don't feel miserable and so that you wake up inspired to build your business. This creates money magnetism because when you're in a state of joy and gratitude and flow, leads come your way automatically. Opportunities open up that you could never plan for, and you can start to scale your business much more easily. So that's why zone of genius is so important. And one way to discover it, just the simplest way, is to start asking yourself, what do I enjoy doing most? What do I wake up and it's just like, I could do this all day. I love it so much. It's the only thing I'd ever do for money. And I enjoy my life, my company, my everything when I'm in this space. That's clues to your zone of genius. And that's going to keep helping you tap into that fullest potential. So that's a deep dive, rapid download of what zone of genius is. Let's ask the beautiful, brilliant ladies here, how did you discover your zone of genius, and really what is it? And let's start. I'm starting in order of appearance on my screen from the bottom right. Let's go with Lauren. Will you share with us, how did you discover your zone of genius?
Sure. So I've been a dietitian for 20 years, and I discovered my zone of genius about 4 to 5 years ago, actually. I was on a standard path working at the diabetes center at a hospital, enjoying my job, but not loving my job. And I had my niece get diagnosed with cancer in 2018. And when something like that happens to your family, and my sister calls me and tells me my niece has neuroblastoma, you begin to reevaluate your own life. I'm sure all of you can, relate to some of that. With everyone has something in their life. And she did pass away in 2020. And I always talk about her because that's why I wouldn't be here today if Lily, didn't pass away and I didn't change my approach to health and my approach in my career. So what started to happen was I started to take on eating disordered and disordered eating clients. And I realized I was really good at it. And I realized that the clients were really working through their intentions and feeling so much better. And I just thought, this is where I'm meant to be. I'm not meant to really be, helping people to lose weight and get them on the scale and talk about diabetes management. I mean, that didn't align with me anymore. And my purpose was now from a healing approach. And it was really to help women who are feeling, fatigued and anxious and depressed and overwhelmed and confused about food, to now this place of feeling more energy and living their life more fuller. So
awesome.
And not everybody wants that. But, not everybody reaches out because they feel safer with their disordered ways, and that's okay. So my name's Lauren Dorman, and my business is Don't Diet Dietitian.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much. All right, let's go, Kathrin.
Yes, hello. My name is Kathrin Brand. I'm from Germany and I also live in France. And my business is the Crescendo Group of Services. So we are actually a wealth creation service. And you can find me on my website, kathrinbrand.com. That's spelled KATHRINBRAND.com. And my zone of genius is actually, I'm a pretty multifaceted personality. Originally, I'm an artist. I'm a cellist, a professional cellist. I love traveling and languages, like I speak 7 languages. And I'm also a businesswoman, like I have this business gene. And I'm also a realtor. Like I sold houses mostly during COVID. And I kind of wanted to bring all this together when I joined a class in 2021 called Sell What You Know. That was an online class. And that's where I met my current business partner. Who I created that, or he's already in this wealth creation service for 24 plus years. And I joined him because it's actually about other people's zone of genius. We monetize intellectual property, personal intellectual property, which is not necessarily license or patents, but any kind of great idea that potentially has a global impact, or a talent, somebody who's a writer who wants to create 100 million US dollar or more, or can create, because that's what we stand for. Actually, this kind of benchmark doesn't necessarily has to be that amount, but it's kind of showing the impact we want to create in the world and changing the world for better that way, by helping them and holding them to account. And we have some awesome people that reach out to us, and it's mainly through referral. But recently, just new clients flew in. So I knew I'm in that zone of genius now, because I'm just creating a team in India. I'm creating a team in London. It's just kind of coming along nicely. So if you want to have a global impact and create that sort of wealth, reach out, and we're happy to work with you and help you and see how we match together.
Yeah, thank you. I love it. Thank you. And let's go with Jessica next.
Hi. The business is Amica Bookkeeping and Tax Services. My name is Jessica. So I was in school for finance, And I finished my finance degree, and I just realized the corporate world really wasn't for me. So, and I'm a mom of 4 kids. I really wanted something where I could be home, take care of the kids, and work while I'm home. So, and there's just so many new small businesses always coming up in my area, and some of them don't know where to start with their books. So I like being able to go over there, fix their books, charge a fee, and be done with it. I mean, it's easy, and it goes. Yeah, I like it. That's how I found my zone of genius, being able to help people.
Yeah. Well, and it's like you're in your specific area of expertise, right? This is where we go. I
So it
get to
didn't go
help
to waste.
people with what makes them freaked out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Okay. Thank you, Jessica. All right. Let's go, Lisa.
My name's Lisa Dickie, and I have a cooking school called Dickie's Cooking School, funnily enough. And I have a background as a teacher. I was a special ed teacher. And when I was teaching special ed, I would regularly, like once a week, we would do a cooking or a science experiment. And then I stopped teaching, I had kids. And then when I started to think about what I wanted to do, I was really stuck on this notion of cooking and teaching. I've always loved cooking. Like I could cook anytime. I'm not a professionally trained chef, but I'm obsessed with, like, if I eat something, I want to try to recreate it. And I just saw that there's this need, or there's this lack of information or skill in preparing, people knowing how to prepare their own food. And in the school systems in Ontario anyway, eliminated like home ec and those things. So there's this like huge gap in knowledge. And so I opened my school, and then I just had a by chance opportunity to niche into being able to serve adults who have autism or MID or Down syndrome. Someone approached me from the Down Syndrome Association, and then I realized it's not taught in schools as much. But once adults kind of time out of the school system, there's really not that much in terms of extracurricular. But you have these adults who want to live independently, or who are now living longer than their parents, which was not always the case. And so there's this real need to give them the skills they need to be able to live on their own or have their own agency. And so, how did I know I was in my zone of genius? I thought, what's the one thing I know I always want to do? And I always want to cook and eat. So I just thought this is kind of goes together pretty easily. So and it was largely just giving myself permission to do that, because there's like, well, I'm not a chef, or I haven't worked in a restaurant, and who am I to think I can do it? And then I just thought, well, I like what I eat, so I think I can do it.
Awesome. Thank you. I want everyone listening to think about the clues that are being dropped right now and the words of wisdom. It's like talking about not liking something and then moving into what inspires you, giving yourself permission. It's something you always want to do. It lights you up. And, there's a mixture of things here. Sometimes it's filling a gap. Someone said it's like it's filling the gap of something that hasn't been created. And then in an area where I bring joy, it makes me feel joy. And so, sometimes I think we overcomplicate business, and it's like what brings you joy is the most magnetic, most inspirational, and fun, right? And we don't want to build prisons out of our business. We want to build businesses we love. And so, just listen to those clues as the women are talking here. And PollyAnna, you're next.
Hey, everybody. I am PollyAnna Brown from M4 Mastery, and mine was a lifelong experience. I've been a storyteller my whole life. And it was this really powerful moment when I was 5 years old playing with Legos. And I went through that classic thing that I think a lot of us did in that era of growing up, where everyone was always asking you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And this really was a huge question for me that weighed on me. And I was playing with my Legos, and I went, I love stories. I love movies. I love TV shows. And I believe that stories can change the world, because I had just watched a Disney cartoon that made me cry. And I was like, it changed how I thought about things. And I realized that stories could do that. And so at that time, I was like, I'm going to be an actress and a singer. And I put together a whole life plan that I continued on for the next 25 years of my life for. And when I entered my business, I had spent my whole life honing my storytelling in different ways, performance, writing, all the things. And I had also gotten into journalism and I was writing for publications, and it was not hard for me. And I think it's because I spent my whole life doing it. So it was more like breathing for me. And when I opened my business, I went, what is the one thing I am brilliant at that I love? And that for me was storytelling. And it was back before storytelling hit the big boom in the entrepreneur market. It was just starting. No one had really kind of claimed the lane yet. And I went, no one's better than me at this. I've got this and I can help these people. And I love these people. And I believed that if world peace was going to happen, it was going to happen through the innovation of entrepreneurship. And so I went all in on storytelling with entrepreneurs, and that just developed into different forms. So it looks in different containers and different shapes, but it all comes back to storytelling for me.
Nice. Love it. Okay. I want to point out to everyone the words, I love it. You said it's like breathing, right? We are inspired by it. We have the most confidence when we're in our zone of genius. We feel alive and focused and intentional and clear, and we have ideas. So these are clues as to your zone of genius. I get this question so many times. So I love everyone here helping all of the NFA Money Mamas who are listening be like, oh, that's how I discovered my zone of genius, in case you don't know yours yet. And the thing is, we all have it. We just might not have discovered it yet. We might not have owned it yet. We might overcomplicate it and think it's something it's not. It's like we sometimes minimize ourselves, right? And so we just get to go, what do I love to do and what brings me confidence? Let's turn to Nicole next.
Hey everybody, my name's Nicole Ooms and I'm the owner of Fully Expressed, and I am essentially a female empowerment mentor. The way that I discovered my zone of genius was really through my own journey of rediscovery. I was in that place of my life where I was an adult woman with kids and a life that I had always dreamed of. So there was all the pieces there, yet there was something that was not there. And that was my heart and soul. So really the evolution of my business was the deconstruction of who I thought I was and who I thought I had to be, which all of these pieces now is what I am bringing to the table because I've embodied all these stories, all of standing in our truths. That is what I'm bringing to the women who step into the Fully Expressed brand. It's the remembrance of your soul. So my zone of genius, like I couldn't not be in this role even if I tried, because it's like that golden thread that weaves through your life, that these pieces of you keep popping up occasionally, like as a child, as a teenager, and then you suppress them based on your conditioning. But then as an adult and as a woman who desires to remember all of her and be all of her, your business really essentially becomes an extension of you, and your life becomes an extension of you. So that's how I landed in this space, and that's how I started doing what I'm doing with these women.
Oh, thank you, Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's add. She just said so many juicy little tidbits. Compulsion came up in my mind. It's like you feel compulsed to do it. And you're like, oh, if I didn't do this, like it's not an option, she said, not to do this, right? Like sometimes your zone of genius is going to surprise you because it seems so natural. And I like that you shared it. You look at the thread through your life. So you'll notice patterns across your life. Ooh, my timer's going off. You'll notice patterns across your life of areas where you show up in a similar way. And it could be like, we could say for Jessica, like in bookkeeping, it could be you look across your life course, you like to create systems with numbers and you think logically and you go, oh, I like to support people and enable their growth through them knowing their numbers. That's awesome. Like that is an essential part of helping other people, right? So it's looking for those threads across your life course. This, it's so much fun to hear this. Okay. Let's go with you, Laura. Share your zone of genius and how you discovered it.
I'm Laura Erdman-Luntz, and I have a company called Life Coaching and Yoga with Laura. Very simple, but I have been in my zone of genius my whole life. So it's funny when you say, how did you find it? It's like, it found me, and this is where I've been. Even my mom said when I was little, I was the one she went to get a little advice and to get a little direction for her life. She's like, you were like 12. And I would say, okay, this is what's going on. What can we do? My passion is inspiring people to live their extraordinary life, to tap into that which really helps them feel fully alive and purposeful. About 15 years ago, when Law of Attraction came out, when The Secret came out, and I realized so much of what I was teaching was that, I tapped into it even more, and I apply both life coaching and yoga, because yoga works with our bodies energetically to help with each of the steps of the process to really step into that life you really want. Now, I want to add, because we're talking about this, and this is often what I do with people, that there are 3 things that usually come up when people can't figure out. And I always say that because I always say what you really want is in there. You're just not letting yourself see it. And one of the things is people often don't feel like their passion is something they can get paid for. And I am telling you, I have never met anybody who can't figure out a way. We can't figure out a way to make money doing what they love. My son, last night at dinner, my son is 19, and he's a complete entrepreneur. He's not college bound. He's like, maybe someday, but he had his first business when he was 6. He bought his first Apple stock when he was 9. Like, this kid is just entrepreneur bound, right? And last night at dinner, he's like, I just want to travel, and he loves to shop. And we came up with an idea, because he loves to shop and he gets to know the shop owner. He likes to go more to like indigenous places with, the people of that area, and like the people who actually made whatever it is, and he gets to know them. He can talk to a tree and make a friend. And he's like, how can that be a business? And we literally figured it out right there. He's, going to do lives in these markets, get to know the person, and then have his followers. He has a huge following on TikTok and Instagram. Have them say, what do you want? And he'll buy what they want for them and ship it to them. Like,
awesome.
I'm excited.
Laura and everyone, like, this is where you want to look for these clues. And I like that you highlight, Laura, that sometimes you're born with it and you know it pretty quickly. Sometimes it takes a discovery process. Everyone's going to be on a different spectrum, yet everyone has a zone of genius. And I 100% agree. It's what NFA money is all about. Everyone can monetize their zone of genius if you choose to. You don't have to. Some people choose not to. That's fine too, but you can. There are so many creative ways to do it. And I think that's where the entrepreneurial quest comes in. If you have that entrepreneur mindset, it's really fun to monetize your zone of genius, because then you get to do what you love every day and it doesn't feel like work. It feels like play. And so I want everyone to go around and this is like speed style. So just 3 words that best describe knowing that you're in your zone of genius. And then on the next round, we'll do 3 words that help you know you're not in your zone of genius. Like, what do you feel when you're not in your zone of genius? 3 words. And first, we're going to start with 3 words that you feel when you are in your zone of genius. Okay, so we're going to go, everyone's shuffled around a little bit. So we're just going to start let's start Laura. 3 words that help you know you're in your zone of genius.
Inspired, vibrant, energized.
Ooh, love it. Okay, Kathrin.
Kind of yes energy, like people saying yes to you, then a team showing up, and a lot of serendipitous moments, like things coming together, falling in place naturally. Nice. You're on the right track, like a flow.
Love it. Okay, serendipity flow. Nice. Okay, Jessica.
Teamwork player, just because who I work with and working with them. Oh, I don't know, really. That one caught me off guard on that. Those 3.
Okay,
those really did catch me off guard.
That's great. Let's dig in so that it'll help listeners. Like, think of how you feel think of something you really love doing in your business. Just start there. And when you're doing that, what are 3 feelings you experience? Would it be?
I mean, just being able to help them. Bookkeeping is they have to be able to figure out what they can and can't do, but
Yeah.
being able to help them in any way. Just there's so many questions they have. So whenever I'm with the customer, I'm happy for them that they want to be able to open up their own business, and inspiring, definitely,
Okay.
because there's some things that they want to open. I'm just like, I've never heard of that. So it's new, but yeah, teamwork is the main one right there.
Okay,
Something like
awesome.
that.
And I think it's interesting because what comes to mind when you're describing that is that you feel like an expert, like you can help guide them in a direction.
Yes. Especially with finances. They're good at what they do, but I take care of what they don't like to do.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay. All right, go for it, Lisa.
Time blind. So I just like if I get lost in an activity, focused and joyful.
Oh, I love that term, time blind. That's a great term. Yeah. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, PollyAnna.
Inspired, flow, and committed.
Ah, yes. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Lauren.
Grounded, creative, and passionate.
Nice. Okay. Nicole.
Oh my God, I have so many, but the three that I think are my top are nurtured, fulfilled, and driven.
These are such good descriptions. Thank you. Okay. Let's go in the reverse order, and we're going to say 3 words that give you clarity that you're not in your zone of genius. So go for it, Nicole.
Caged, unfulfilled, I guess, as an opposite, and drained.
Nice. Okay. Very helpful. Okay, Lauren.
Fearful, overwhelmed, and burnt out.
Oh, I feel that one. Yeah. That's so clear when you're not in your zone of genius. You're like, I feel awful and drained. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Lauren. PollyAnna.
Exhausted, frustrated, and empty.
Okay. Thank you. Lisa.
Procrastinating, sullen, bored.
Nice. These are so useful. Okay. Jessica.
Overwhelmed, the imposter syndrome, and time management.
Yeah. Like stressed about time. Okay. Okay. Wow. These are great descriptors. Kathrin, go for it.
Yeah, kind of is separate, confused, and like non-focused, and there's no joy and sort of why do I even do that, right? There's no have to do that urgently.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And Laura.
All of the above. Everything. And I would also add that I feel compelled to make a decision to do something, like I really have to do it and I really have to keep moving forward and blah, blah, blah. Like I force.
Oh, urgency and force. Urgency. Yeah.
Yeah.
Impatience.
Yeah. The compulsion, but a negative compulsion,
Totally.
not a positive one.
Yeah. Fear-based compulsion versus inspiration-based, so these are awesome, everyone. Thank you so much. I know that all the women listening are going to get a lot out of this. A really powerful strategy when you're playing with Zone of Genius is to do exactly what we did here. Write down what brings you joy every day. Just start asking, what brings me joy? And then write down, what do I hate or not enjoy? And on those lists, that's your roadmap to getting you more aligned with your Zone of Genius and being more magnetic to money. The things that you don't like, you want to drop, automate, or delegate as fast as possible. And this will help you start to play more in your Zone of Genius and get to that zone of manifestation, zone 4, that I talk about in episode 3 if you haven't listened to it yet. Okay, let's highlight these beautiful, awesome, wonderful women who are powerful entrepreneurs in the world. We're going to go around speed dating style, and they are going to ask, and also I want everyone here to know, chat with each other, share your information with each other. This is a great place to network and connect. So what you want to share here is who you are, your business name, how listeners can find you. If you have a freebie to give to them, offer it up. And if you have a request for the community, either the women that are here on this party or the women who are listening, say that too. And we're going to go in 90-second rounds. So, and I am going to time you, and you'll see me hold up my phone with the timer if you are getting closer going over. So, keep it to 90 seconds so that everyone can get a chance to go. And let's start with, let's see. I started last time over there. Let's go, Lisa. Do you want to start the round? Okay, awesome.
My name's Lisa Dickie. My website is dickiescookingschool.com. And so that's DICKIES, cookingschool.com. My Instagram handle is Dickie's Cooking School. I have a pantry essential guide on that people can grab that gives how to stock your pantry and lots of great recipes for that. I'm launching a digital life skills course in the next 6 weeks, and my goal is to continue to teach cooking and to move away from a brick and mortar shop and do it strictly virtually, so I can scale it down and free up some time.
Awesome. And everyone, Lisa has a killer Instagram, so definitely check her out on Instagram, like super fun videos for cooking. Like check her out. Did you say, I was setting the timer. Did you say your Instagram handle so everyone has it?
I did. I think I did. I actually had to like look down at my phone because it's always like, what is it again? Yeah, it is. It's definitely Dickie's Cooking School.
Okay. So Dickie's Cooking School, check her out there. Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. Okay, Jessica, go for it.
My name is Jessica, and I have Mika Bookkeeping and Tax Services. Right now, we're still building the everything. So right now, we have a Gmail, a Mika Bookkeeping Tax at Gmail, and our Facebook page as well. So
okay, yeah. Wonderful. And do you who's your person you love to work with? Let them know so they know that you'd be a good fit.
Oh, anyone that's trying to get started on their business and they just don't know where to start with anything on how to get their financial situated, just to get anything, like any questions. I work with anyone, really.
Awesome. So it sounds like all of the women listeners here, if they're needing a bookkeeper, which as a money coach, I highly recommend that you do, then reach out to Jessica. Yes. All right, go for it, Kathrin.
Yes, hello again. You can find me on my personal website. We also have a business website, but I'm more compelled to share my own. I actually did that already because I misunderstood. I just say it again. It's KathrinBrand.com, like my German spelled name, KathrinBrand.com. No E in the Kathrin. And we offer a strategy session if you want to enter the conversation of wealth creation through personal intellectual property. We seek out people with extraordinary ideas who look for strategy or capital, which could be human capital or financial capital, also intellectual capital, like helping you to build your team or to just really think big, have global impact. And this is what we do. Thank you.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you, Kathrin. All right, Laura.
So you can find me at my website, LauraErdman-Luntz.com, on Instagram at Muse Laura. That's MUSE Laura. And I also have a Facebook community, Ignite Your Life with Muse Laura. A good place to get started is I have an ebook that takes you through 5 steps plus 1 for living your extraordinary life, which is my signature program. And it shares both inspiration, resources, and the yoga that is applied to each of the steps. And that is my 6 steps for mastering the law of attraction as well. And that's at LauraErdmanLuntz.com. That's LauraErdmanLuntz.com/manifesting. So that's a good place to take your first step.
Awesome. Thank you. That sounds like a great resource. Okay, Nicole.
Okay, yeah. So my name is Nicole Ooms. Again, my brand is Fully Expressed, and my mission here is to empower women to create a life of freedom through love. And I specifically strategize around healing masculine wounding in order for the woman to feel safe to take action in her life. That's my gravy, whatever that's called. And I am a psychic healer. I do energy work. I'm an activator. and an embodiment mentor, obviously. So I am currently finalizing my 10-week program. It's a dream formula for women who are looking for better relationships, higher paying jobs, looking to scale the corporate ladder, more fulfillment in your life, anything like that. I do take my women through a program. It's called the Dream Formula, and that will be launching very, very soon. I do have a meditation activation that if you find me on Instagram, Nicole C. Ooms, Nicole period OOMS. Sorry, I missed that. Nicole period C period OOMS. I apologize. I'm a little nervous. Fully expressed, open and honest. I will send you that activation meditation. Just reach out to me on Instagram.
Wonderful. I love these giveaways and all of the diversity, and just like, this is where I love hanging out with groups of women, where I'm like, man, we've got some badass women in the world doing really amazing things. It like brings tears to my eyes to think about how it's possible to create something out of nothing and just and help the world and make money doing it. Like, yes to all of you so far. Okay, go for it, Lauren.
I'm Lauren. I'm a mental health self-care registered dietitian. You can find me at LaurenDormanRD.com. So LaurenDormanRD.com. I do have Instagram at Don't Diet Dietitian, where you can obtain my freebie. That is the 10 ways to practice self-care through nutrition. And I do work with both children and adults. And I do have an upcoming Balance to Burnout on my website and course. And I also have a selective eating course for parents to learn. And I would love, if anyone is interested to, learn more about my approach, you're welcome to download that freebie.
Awesome. Thank you, Lauren. All right, PollyAnna.
Hey everyone, again, I am PollyAnna Brown with M4 Mastery, and you can catch me at one particular hub, which is my milkshake, and that is let me see, I lost it in the chat. Where did it go? There it is. It's msha.ke/PollyAnna Writes. That's PollyAnna And on that milkshake, you will find all of my freebies, all of my social media. It is a great place to find me. And what I do is I help business owners craft their message and then get it in front of millions of ideal clients, leveraging publicity. So it's super powerful. And I have the Binge-Worthy podcast that is just about to launch, and it's going to be amazing. So if you've ever wanted to create binge-worthy content, this is the place where you want to be. So definitely check it out.
Love it. What is the podcast called? Binge-Worthy?
Mm-hmm. Binge-Worthy.
Nice. Great name. That's fun. Okay. Awesome. This has been so much fun. Let's in closing, we've just got a few minutes left. Let's share in around something that you want people to take away today based on Zone of Genius inspiration, anything that aligns with that. What's your key takeaway? And then we'll close her up and we'll come back for the next episode. So let's start with PollyAnna, since you ended.
So my biggest takeaway is it doesn't always have to feel good, but it should always feel right. There are those moments where in your zone of genius, you are going to have to push that comfort zone, and it expands you into that next level. And when you own that feeling of rightness and you are playing in your zone of genius, everything works out.
Nice. All right, let's go, Lisa.
To not get, don't get confused by the fear of it, because it is scary. It is scary to step out and to push in. It's not supposed to feel like easy breezy, like you're going to skate through it. And that's okay, but you can still kind of work within it. So because if it's fearful, it doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means that it's scary.
Got it. Thank you. Great advice. Jessica.
My biggest takeaway is not to be afraid to start something on your own. I know a lot of people they're so used to being able to have that sense of, knowing that they're going to have that their pay or salary or whatever, but just being able to go off on your own is huge for some people because they don't have anyone to turn to. And there's always help. Like Lisa said, if it's scary, then you're doing something right. Because if it wasn't scary, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah. So. Awesome. Thank you, Jessica. Okay, Kathrin.
Yes, I also get that one needs to know oneself really well to know what is the zone of genius. Like sometimes we also run into obstacles, and then second element is resilience, like overcoming, hanging in there, not giving up, even if sometimes there might be big stones in the way, but you can get there against all odds, against maybe the fears, and the journey is also important. The aim is important, but the journey is part of the whole thing. So keep going.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kathrin. Okay, Laura.
So we mentioned earlier, to not make decisions from fear. And I always say the corollary to that is never second guess a decision made from love. So if you make this decision to go into your passion and you do it, you're like in a really good space and you're all excited about it. And this happens to all of us. And a couple of weeks later, you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't. This is not a good idea. Go back to how you felt when you made the decision. And if you were in a really good space, trust it. Keep going.
Such good advice. Nicole.
Okay, I have two really quick things that I want to leave with everybody. If you have a desire, your desire desires you. We are not separate from that. It is waiting in some energetic realm that you can't see for you to take steps in your life to bring it into the physical reality. So we are one with that, and just know and trust that if you're desiring it, it is there for a reason. And then when we are in this space of confusion, muddy energy, awareness, connection to yourself and to your higher source, whatever that looks like for you, and moving with intention is really, really powerful.
So good. So many good descriptors in there. Lauren.
So I have 3 things. You're never failing. You're always learning and growing. To always be in the moment and not think too far ahead to the future. And it would really be selfish to keep your superpower and your genius to yourself.
Ooh. Yeah. These are all mic droppers, every single one of you. Wow. Really awesome. I love to teach Zone of Genius work. I mean, it's one of the main things that I do. So of course, for listeners, if you don't know how to connect with me yet, go to workwithdramanda.com. We'll hang out and talk, and I can let you know how I can help you discover your zone of genius and know how to access it so that you can scale your business to the next level. So just workwithdramanda.com. To me, this is probably the core, most important thing that you can figure out in your life, because to me, this is where you thrive. You feel alive. You feel inspired. I've been suicidally depressed before in my life. And when I look back at those moments of like debating and wishing I could die, I was miserable because I wasn't in my zone of genius. I was trying to live someone else's values. I was trying to do everything else to please other people, and it made me miserable. And so, the more and more I play in my zone of genius, I get a really quick moment of clarity when I'm like, I don't feel good today. And I instantly ask myself, where am I out of alignment with my zone of genius? So to me, it's the compass for everything that is awesome. And I go, hey, I want to build an awesome life where my business is an outer expression of my evolution of my soul. And I get to impact the world through doing what I love and make increasing amounts of money to make bigger impact and influence more people. And so, this is, to me, is a really important conversation. And I think, keep it going. Thank you so much, all of you beautiful women, for being here, sharing your wisdom with our community. And, you're welcome to come back, share it out with the world so that other people can hang out here too. And thank you all the listeners for being here, because of course, if you weren't there listening, there would be no point in doing this. So thank you for you. Until next time, I'm sending y'all hugs and NFA money making high fives. Thanks for listening to this episode. Did you know that you are invited to the Woman Entrepreneur Podcast Party? This is your opportunity to come on the show to network with other women entrepreneurs and to discuss a business topic. Plus, it's a great way to shout out your business to podcast fans. These are once-a-month parties with only 10 spots available. Go to thewomanontrepreneurpodcast.com and grab your spot now. I can't wait to see you there.